Hi everyone, thanks for joining me on another video where we're trying to help you gain a little bit more knowledge about your game and help you improve so that you can lower your scores. Today we're going to be talking about heel strikes, toe strikes and centered strikes on your club face and how that affects the end result of your shot. Over the years I've had hundreds of people come to me, and when they've hit the ball they've said, "Oh, I've let go of the club," or "It's twisted in my hands." Well, yes, that might be the case, but what we're here today to help you understand is why does that happen. So if you've ever had that feeling where you've hit your shot, club's twisted in your hands, or you felt like you've let it go, stick around and watch this video. This is a great video to help you understand why. Let's get into it. Welcome back. Firstly, we're going to talk about toe strikes. I'm sure many of you know what toe strikes are, but here's a quick little example and understanding of what it is if you don't know. A toe strike is simply hitting the ball on the outside of the club face or further away from the center of mass of the golf club than you are at address. As you'll see here in the picture, this golf club is coming into impact, and it's coming in very square to the target line. This next picture shows you what happens to the golf club when you've hit it out of the toe of the club. You'll see there's a dramatic difference and twisting of the club after impact. This is what happens when you hit it off the toe of the club. So the ball will then squirt off to the right hand side for right hand golfers or to the left hand side for left hand golfers. This is the feeling of you letting go of the club or the club twisting in your hands at impact. Now let's talk about heel strike. Heel strikes. As you've all assumed or are probably aware, a heel strike is the opposite of a toe strike. When you hit it out of the heel, which means you hitting it closer to the hosel of the club or closer to you than the center of mass on the club face, the club face will twist closed. For right-handed golfers that means going to the left, for left-handed golfers means going to the right. As you'll see up here in this picture, this club face is looking pretty good as it's coming down into impact. But then this player hits the ball out of the heel of the club. And look what happens. The club dramatically shuts closed on impact and through impact, making the ball shoot off to the left for this right-handed golfer. So these are the things that happen when you hit it out of the heel of the club. Which one are you, a heel or a toe striker? Now let's move on to hitting it out of the middle of the club face and what that does for all of you golfers out there. Centeredness of strike, hitting the sweet spot, the holy grail of the golf shot. It's something we all love to feel and hear and do. Stand there, you hit the middle of the club, bang, off it goes. Generally goes where you want it to go as well. You stand there and you think, why can't I do that all the time? Well, it's quite hard to do. But there's a lot of training and techniques and time involved to get good at this. But there are some ways to really dial it in. Certainly before you play golf, before you start the game, in your warm-up, and even in your practice. So here's something to have a little look at, and the difference between what happens when the club hits it off the toe, like we saw in the previous video, and in the heel off the previous video, the opening and closing. Have a look at these pictures. Club coming into impact, pretty square to the target, almost about to hit the ball. Makes contact with the ball comes off the club face, and look at how square the club face still is. It hasn't turned in any way, shape or form like it did when your golf club made contact with the ball on the toe and the heel. This is why you don't feel like the club's twisted in your hands when you hit it out of the middle. So I want you to think back and say, wow, when do I feel like my club twists in my hand? First thing I want you to say to yourself is, didn't hit it in the middle of the golf club. So here's something to really think about and to understand. Let's move on into the next video, talking about handicap and how that affects your strike pattern. Strike patterns and handicaps. Here's the question. Do you think there is a correlation between your strike pattern and your handicap? Well, yes there is. Better players strike the middle of the golf club more, and here's a few pictures to represent that. Here we have a 20 handicapper, and you'll see their dispersion on the club face of where they hit the ball is quite large. Here's a 10 handicapper, a little bit smaller than the 20 handicapper, and then here's a scratch player, a little bit smaller again, and here's a tour player. Their centeredness of strike is there, bang, 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 all the time. So there is a direct correlation between your centeredness of strike and your handicap. This has been proven. And here's another picture of Tiger Woods. This is one of his irons from 2005. That guy hardly ever missed the center of the golf club. It's one of the main reasons that he was really, really good at what he does. It's one of the main reasons why better golfers are able to produce better shots and more predictable shots all the time, because they can hit the center of the club face. So this is something for you to think about. If your handicap is up above 10, then maybe we need to look at how often you can strike the center of the club face so that you can predict where your ball is going to go more often. It's a huge correlation between handicap. Now, we've got a little bit of a technique and a drill that you can do at the driving range or at home. So sit back, relax, watch the last video, and hopefully we can get you hitting it out of the center of the club face more. Well, here we go. How do we identify and improve your strike pattern? I'm sure by now you have a little bit of an inclination as to whether or not you're a toe striker or you're a heel striker, or you think you hit it out of the middle more often than not. Personally, when I get a little bit off, I hit it off the toe a little bit more. That means my ball shoots up a little bit higher, goes off to the right a little bit more, and then I lose a lot of distance. I know that, so once I know that, I can then implement a couple of little procedures to help me get my strike back to the center. Here's one that I do. So what you can do, grab 3 tees, one on the outside or the toe of the club, one on the heel, just inside, and then one in the middle. I want you to make 20 golf swings, no ball, and I want you to identify the pattern that you are. Do you hit the inside tee more, which means you would hit off the toe of the club? Do you hit the outside tee more, which would mean that you would hit off the heel of the club? Or do you hit the middle tee and leave the other 2 tees in the ground? More often than not. Identify your pattern first, and then what I want you to do is do the absolute opposite. If you, in those 20 golf swings, hit the inside tee more, I want you to then go and try and hit the outside tee 20 times. If you hit the outside tee more, I want you to then come in and try and hit the inside tee 20 times. Then, after you've done that, ask yourself, what is it that you did? Did you have to pull your hands in a little bit more? Did you feel yourself change your body alignments? Lots of things can change here. Generally, it's just where your attention's at. Pay attention to what you're trying to do. Are you trying to hit the inside tee? Are you trying to hit the outside tee? Once you've done that, I want you to then have 100 golf swings and try and get through both those tees, the inside and the outside, and only hit the middle tee. Full speed as well. Full speed is going to identify what sort of swing you have when you're going at the ball. Once you've done that, once you've done your 100 swings, place the ball back down in the middle tee and see if you can still go through those 2 tees. Something might change as soon as the ball gets there. If you hit the ball in the inside tee, just change it again. Try and hit the ball and the outside tee. If you hit the ball and the outside tee, have another go. Put a ball down, try and hit the ball in the inside tee. Hit both of them together. Trying to understand and identify which one you are and the feelings that you have to do to get towards the center of the face is crucial. It's different for everyone, but you've really got to identify what it is that you need to do first to help you hit the center of the club face. So I hope that helps everyone. and I'd love to know your patterns. So if you want to send me through your results, please do. My email address is on the next slide. Have a great week, enjoy your golf, and we'll talk to you all soon.